You can sit at a desk for 6 hours, drink 3 coffees, stare at a blank screen until your eyes bleed, and absolutely nothing happens. But the second you step into a box of hot running water, naked, completely unequipped to write anything down, the million-dollar idea, the perfect solution to the problem that's been ruining your week, the exact words you needed, just there. And then you grab a towel and it's gone. This is not a coincidence. This is not a fluke. Your brain is not broken for failing at your desk and succeeding in the shower. Your brain is working exactly as designed. And once you understand what is actually happening in there, you will never look at your shower the same way again. Here is something nobody tells you about creativity. Trying harder is the worst thing you can do. When you sit down and force yourself to think, really concentrate, really grind, your brain enters a mode of narrow linear thinking. It follows one path, then another. Logical, disciplined, controlled, and almost completely useless for genuine creative breakthroughs. Because the answer to a hard problem is almost never on the path you are already on. It is somewhere sideways. A connection between two ideas that have never been in the same room together. Something your conscious brain would never think to try because it is too busy being sensible. John Kunias, a cognitive neuroscientist at Drexel University, describes it this way. When you are deeply focused, your executive processes are running at full power, efficient, disciplined, and actively suppressing every loose, unexpected connection your brain might otherwise make. The very thing that produces creative ideas is being blocked by the part of you that is trying to think. So what changes in the shower? 3 things, all at once, in exactly the right combination. First, you relax. Warm water, white noise, no screen. No one asking anything from you. Your body stops being tense, and your brain follows. And the moment that tight, focused grip loosens, dopamine floods in. Dopamine is your feel-good chemical, but it is also directly linked to creative thinking in a way most people do not know. Higher dopamine means your brain makes wider, looser, more unexpected connections between ideas. Your internal editor, the part of your prefrontal cortex that usually sits there telling you your ideas are stupid, goes quiet. When the editor goes on break, the weird, creative, brilliant thoughts finally get the microphone. Second, your conscious mind gets just enough to do. This is what makes the shower specifically special rather than just any relaxing moment. In 2022, researchers at the University of Virginia and the University of Minnesota published a study on exactly this. What they found was counterintuitive. Doing absolutely nothing, lying completely still, staring at the ceiling, does not produce the best ideas. The brain wanders too freely. Thoughts go nowhere because there is nothing gently guiding them. But the shower gives your conscious mind just enough. Wash your hair. Rinse. The water is too hot. Adjust it. These tiny microtasks occupy just enough of your attention to keep it busy, without using enough cognitive power to suppress your creative thinking. Just enough, not too much. Third, your default mode network switches on. The default mode network is a set of brain regions that activate when you are not focused on the outside world. It handles imagination, memory retrieval, and crucially, making connections between things that seem completely unrelated. Researchers describe it as the brain's creative compost bin, turning things over underneath the surface, processing, combining, rearranging, all without asking your permission. Your brain was working the entire time. You just were not consciously watching it happen. Here is what makes all of this genuinely strange. The shower is not where your brain solves the problem. The shower is where your brain delivers the answer to a problem it has already been working on without telling you. Psychologists call this incubation. You consciously work on a problem. You hit a wall. You walk away. And your brain keeps working on it in the background while your conscious mind does other things entirely. The shower does not generate the idea from nothing. It creates the conditions for an already working subconscious process to finally surface into your awareness. Which means the shower idea was never an accident. Your brain had been building toward it for hours, maybe days, and it needed you to stop trying before it could show you what it had found. This is not new. In 250 BCE, a Greek mathematician named Archimedes had been stuck for weeks on a problem no one could solve. How do you measure the volume of a crown without melting it down? He tried everything. He concentrated. He ground away at it. He got nowhere. Then, one afternoon, he stepped into a public bath. His body sank into the water. The water level rose around him, and in that moment, relaxed, distracted, not trying, his brain made the connection it had been building towards for weeks. Volume displacement. The water rises in exact proportion to whatever enters it. The crown could be measured without being destroyed. He was so overwhelmed he ran through the streets of Syracuse without his clothes on, screaming, "Eureka! I have found it!" 2,000 years later, in 1990, a NASA engineer named Jim Crocker was stuck on one of the most expensive problems in scientific history. The Hubble Space Telescope had been launched with a defective mirror. Billions of dollars of equipment orbiting the Earth, producing blurry images. Nobody could figure out how to fix it without bringing the entire telescope back down. Crocker was in a hotel room in Germany. He stepped into the shower. He noticed the European-style shower head mounted on an adjustable arm that could be repositioned. His brain, which had been working on the Hubble problem the entire time, made the connection. Corrective mirrors could be mounted on a similar adjustable arm inside the telescope. No need to bring it back to Earth. He fixed the Hubble Space Telescope in the shower. 72% of people report their most creative ideas in the shower, more than at work, more than during any dedicated thinking time. And now you know why. Your brain is not a machine that produces better output when you push harder. It is an associative network that does its best work when you stop pushing and give it room to breathe. We filled every quiet moment with noise. Phones, scrolling, constant stimulation. Every gap plugged the second it appears. But your best ideas live in the gaps. The problem you are stuck on right now, stop trying to solve it. Go for a walk, do something boring but not mindless. Take a shower, and keep something to write with nearby. Because the real tragedy of the shower idea is not that your brain failed to find it. It is how fast it disappears the moment you grab a towel.